The LSU Tigers and the Clemson Tigers at Clemson's Death Valley. This matchup will be in a setting with the sun setting, with two of the best quarterbacks in college football scoring off. Brian Kelly versus Dabo Swinney. Garrett Nussmeier versus Cade Klubnik. This matchup has so much riding on it. Let's go to Brian Kelly's LSU Tigers to begin with. Brian Kelly has had his share of troubles. Winning that first game has proved so difficult for his LSU squad. You can remember last year against USC, had opportunities to win that game, and they have not been able to get off to a nice hot start, to be able to have momentum going into SEC conference play. For Clemson, they take care of business at home. They pretty much don't have another tough game until they play Georgia Tech in a couple of weeks. This is so tough for LSU to go into that environment in Death Valley and get a win on the road. Clemson obviously has the advantage. They're favored in this game by 2.5 points, and they should be. They have the reigning all Clemson players, setting all those records in TJ Parker. He's going to be a top 10 pick once April comes around. Peter Woods in the middle of that defense is just as talented, just as havoc wrecker on the defensive side of the ball. They've got Avion Terrell in the back end, the secondary, covering Barryon Brown, Nick Anderson, Aaron Anderson. Holy moly, is that a talented wide receiver core for LSU. For Clemson's wide receiver core, it's the exact same story. It's just a little bit different because of the different names. Antonio Williams, TJ Moore, Bryant Wesco. Tell me a better trio of wide receivers in college football next year. I'll listen for sure, but these are definitely top 5 wide receiver trios, wide receiver rooms in the sport, and we get to see them square off against each other. Elite quarterback play going up against each other. One possession it'll be Cade, the next possession it'll be Garrett. As college football fans, I'm not an LSU, I'm not a Clemson fan, but I'm a college football fan, and I am going to be up. I'm not even going to be sitting down for this one. This is the type of football game to start off the year. You're so excited. Football is back that you just have to stand up. You have to be out of your seat for over half this game until some of that energy, it'll have already been a long day at that point. Ohio State, Texas is earlier. Probably Bama, Florida State will be some fun to watch. But this type of matchup early in the season is a rare one, where you already have narratives to write. Clemson's coming into this one as a national title contender. Absolutely. Same exact story with LSU. Because of the weakened level of SEC play, like Georgia, Alabama, Texas are the top 3 teams in that conference. None of them has that elite, like, dominant stretch where you could see it from. The only one you could maybe see it is if Arch Manning is that guy. He's in New York, and he's a number 1 overall draft pick this type of year. We can see it from Texas. But for LSU, this is that year to make that step where you could go 9-3 and get into the college football playoff. That wasn't possible last year, but this year you can. For Clemson, the expectation is that you get to the conference title game, that you not only do that, but you win the conference, you get yourself into the top 4 teams in the country and get that first round bye. Don't even have to play a team in the first round of the college football playoff. A ton of that is riding. It's not just people in the Carolinas rooting for Clemson to win this game. It is everybody else probably throughout the ACC that's like, we hate Clemson, we don't like Clemson, but at the end of the year, you might kind of need Clemson to win this game because this could help a 10-2 Miami. This could help a 10-2 Georgia Tech get over that hump, because a loss against LSU, and let's say LSU's that 4th best team in the SEC next year, what will that mean for a loss? So if we're breaking it down, how is LSU going to run the football? TJ Parker, Peter Woods, we talked about, but the production, are we going to see them establish that? We know Cade Klubnik's a better athlete than Garrett Nussmeier. Nussmeier's not known for that ability. We know he can throw the ball very effectively. He's got to cut down on the turnovers. A very poor performance against Texas A&M. They absolutely blew that game. It was winnable, and they gave it away because of the turnovers. How are they going to get the ball to their playmakers when Nussmeier is going to be harassed by the best defensive line in college football potentially next year? It's already top 5. It's just a question of what the order of the top 5 is, and Clemson, it will be in that consideration as long as those guys that we talked about, number 3 and TJ, number 11 and Woods, stay healthy throughout the season. So LSU, where does the production on the ground game come? Because we know for Clemson, they're going to figure out how to replace, of course, Phil Maffa on that side of the ball. Klubnik is such a threat with his legs every single play to be able to pick up first downs, to extend in the red zone, to be able to get in there, crossing the pylon and scoring. Memorial Stadium is going to be easily a top 10 atmosphere for the entire season. That place has an expectation level of sheer mayhem. It doesn't have the size of what the other Death Valley does there for LSU. About 100,000 people, high 90s, 100 can stack in there, but this place is going to be absolutely nuts. You can already see them coming down that Tiger Hill. But Gideon Davidson, Jay Haynes, where's the production running the ball going to come outside of Cade Klubnik for Clemson? Frankly, though, do they really have to? When you have talented wide receivers like Moore and Williams to throw the ball to, are you going to need to run the ball for 200? Don't really think so. When you have a defense like that, are you going to need to run the ball a whole lot? It would certainly help to keep the ball out of Garrett Nussmeier's hands as much as you can. As far as a lean, it's like, well, you're talking about this matchup. It sounds like it's incredible. It will be incredible. But what are you thinking so far? Like, do you have a specific thought on who's going to win this game? In fact, I do. I think LSU wins this game 34-30. It's going to be high scoring. If this is very heavily defensive style, like Harold Perkins has a sack and a half, an interception, or a forced fumble on this one, him coming back, Weeks there right in the middle of that defense, I could see it, but I could still see a ton of points. It's hard for me to see this game and not see over 30 points each unless the offenses just really, really struggle to click and they're not getting to the line. But college at this point, these coaches are so good. Brian Kelly, Swinney are as good as any top 10 coaches in college football. Swinney gets this national championship. He can retire, hang him up, walk off into the sunset, and do whatever he wants for the rest of his life, because that would be iconic. He would be the best college football coach next to Nick Saban in the past 25 years if he got that third natty, especially going up against all of that. That's what we talk about with the narratives. That's what Clemson has going into this. They're expecting and want to win this game. I guarantee you they're nervous because LSU is of that Georgia, they're of that Alabama, they're of that Texas Longhorn talent. They've got the same type of talent. It's just a matter of playing the games and winning against a Clemson. All of these teams have similar talent levels. No one's just, oh my gosh, like we're going up against them. We'll be lucky to be in that game in the second half or late in that fourth quarter. You're expecting to be in that game. It's just a matter of that 3rd and 6 where you're down 3 points and you're able to convert and get a touchdown instead of kicking field goals. It's about 3rd and goal from the 2-yard line running and getting a touchdown, not having to settle and have a 4th and goal where you're not ending up scoring or getting any points. Converting on 3rd down, scoring touchdowns in the red zone and not kicking field goals, taking the ball away when you need to, not turning the football over. All of the things everybody talks about, but to another level when you have this level of matchup games. Clemson plays Georgia Tech at Georgia Tech in a couple of weeks, so you know that they're motivated and want this game, and we know Georgia Tech probably is at least the 4th best team in the ACC next year with Haynes King, Jamal Haynes, very talented, so that they need this one. You can't be 0-1 and then staring down the barrel of Georgia Tech in a couple of weeks. There will be a narrative, so that's the exact same thing for Brian Kelly. Can't be 0-1. Neither of these teams can be 0-1. It just can't happen, but yet we know someone will be 0-1. That's why you love college football, baby, because what can't happen has to happen, because that's just the laws of college football. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know down below in the comments whether you agree, disagree with my prediction. Obviously, we will see the game play out to determine whether or not my prediction is correct of LSU beating Clemson on the road. But I still have Clemson going 11-1 next year, even if that does happen, which I think Clemson Tiger fans would take, and I've actually got LSU as being a CFP team. So winding up seeing both these teams be happy in the end, but LSU with the win. So please let me know down below whether you agree, disagree, and please subscribe for more content in the future. I'd love to see you sticking around and checking out more videos. We live stream, we preview, we predict, break down, recap all of it, and a whole bunch to get to next year throughout every single day. Get new college football as well as NFL content. You can see the Dicka jersey. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time on Blitz with Blinder.
Best player in college football.
That Georgia and Ohio State game, New Year's Eve, is going to be a classic.
Josh Blinder. Hi, everybody. I'm Josh Blinder.
To the 40, 35, 30, Espinoza to the 20.